Good afternoon, and welcome to another dismal episode of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your dispirited and dysfunctional host, Voice of Doom. Hello. Alright, I wasn't going to do many more diatribes because I've kind of run out of stuff to say, but I can always reiterate and regurgitate what I've already said and talk about the latest crap. What's going on in the world? Well, notice a preponderance of people getting more and more antsy about the imminent fall of Western civilization, and a lot of bad things happening nationally, internationally, and otherwise. But thought I'd talk to you a little bit today about the hyper-gaslighting that's been taking place in our used-to-be country. I've been watching the news, and I'm going to have to blackball a few more outlets from my computer because I don't want it contaminating my circuitry. I got rid of CNN, I got rid of MSNBC, no feeds from them, there's no point. And now I'm going to get rid of NBC and CBS and ABC. Don't want anything from them anymore because they're on a one-track pony. And it's sickening because when I look at my news feeds, if Orangey has been indicted, then that's all I see across the board. Nothing but indictments. The walls are closing in on Orangey. This is it. He's going to go to jail. So I get sick of seeing that because it's just the same old thing, and they are obsessed. The only other thing that they get obsessed about is when some big weather phenomena is about to occur, which it is in Florida. It looks like it's not going to be good, but it's only going to cover a certain portion of the state and then head back out to sea again. So we'll see what happens with that. But gaslighting. Now, I know everybody said, well, if it was Orangey and he was facing all these charges about corruption and extortion and bribery, then they would be after him. The mainstream media would be all over him for that, but they totally ignore Petri dish. Instead of saying, what if it was Orangey? Let's just imagine the scenario that Petri dish and the cackling gargoyle were both goppers, and what the mainstream media would do with all the information that a Democrat Congress would uncover. Just think about it for just a minute. If Petri dish was a gopper, he would have been impeached many times over in the last 2 years, and he continued to be impeached until they finally got rid of him. But I don't think he would have reached the point where they were uncovering any bribery or scams or treachery dealing with foreign entities, because he wouldn't have made it that far. If he was a gopper, he would have been impeached in September of 2021. Now, the mainstream gaslights everything to an extreme degree, and they're making big hay out of Orangey's indictments, which amount to, you're not allowed to say anything, we can say what we want, you can't say anything. We're going to indict you if you say anything. And it's interesting because his latest one was an indictment because he dared to challenge the election. Now, goppers are not allowed to do that. I think that the D's can challenge all they want, and there's myriad examples of that, where certain people who shall remain nameless, but it rhymes with Billary, and others have said outright that Orangey is an illegitimate president. He stole the election. He's a cheater, and said it with impunity, and no one ever indicted her for that. They never indicted her for destroying classified information, even having it stored in an illegal facility. But I guess if Orangey had a couple pieces of paper out of place that shouldn't have been there, then let's get the full weight of the law on his head. So the indictments only make him stronger, only make him more popular. But let's talk about some ironical things that are going on with the so-called electorate. Now, the D's, by and large, have taken the black vote for granted for many, many, many decades now. We do not have to even worry about them because they all think alike and they all act alike and they're all on our side. So we'll make them promises here and there. We're going to fight crime. We're going to fight crime by not arresting criminals. We're going to fight crime by the fact that if there's certain people of a certain pedigree that commit crimes, they will not face jail, because we can't have so many people of certain pedigrees in prison because it looks bad. It looks like we're racist. And the irony is they thought, well, we will win back our people of color constituency by pouncing on Orangey, because then they will see, yeah, Mr. Bobo got his. Yeah, we're giving it to the man. We're giving it to that white supremacist racist. You see how good we are for you? And the irony is that instead of saying, yes, it's good that this white man is being pilloried and persecuted, they're saying, wait a minute, this is what they've been doing to us all these years. We're the ones that have suffered injustice. We're the ones that have been hounded. We're the ones that can't drive around town in a nice car without being pulled over, because you couldn't possibly have a car that nice since you're a certain pedigree. So they're actually jumping on the Orangey bandwagon, and that is bad for the D's. And there's another person of color who is of certain progressive ilk, and he has bushy black gray hair, and I believe his name is Cornel West. Now, I could give two rips about him because I disagree with everything he stands for, but it's nice that he's jumping into the ring and throwing his hat, if he has a hat, into that ring, because he wants to run as an independent, and he can only take away from the D's, because no Gopper would ever vote for him under any circumstances. Now, whether the Goppers have some outsider that take away votes from Orangey, who knows? But it's good that this Cornel West is a super lib that will be a proxy for the Bernie Sanders wing of the government, and that will take away a whole lot of votes, especially from the idiot youths, the Antifas who managed to find the voting or managed to mail in their ballot if they can do it, and people of that ilk. So the way I see the election is it's going to be a win-win situation for everyone in what used to be America, because it's already a preordained conclusion that it will be Orangey against Petri dish. Why? Well, Orangey already has a commanding lead, and it's only getting stronger because, say what you want about the idiots in America, or it used to be, they know injustice when they see it, and they don't like it, because even though we're decaying and falling into the abyss, we still have certain principles that are inculcated in our psyche. called fairness and justice, and we're seeing that we're not seeing that. We're seeing that the DOJ is a Nazi organization in every sense of the word. So that's backfiring on them, just like it always does. Wile E. Coyote, go back to that one and you'll see the D's, no matter what kind of contraption they come up with, will always turn around and bang them on the head. So they're doomed. But the reason that Petri Dish will be the nominee, if he manages to last, and it doesn't matter if he's prone or if he's on the ground or if he's stumbling around or if he's not blinking, if he's still breathing, he will be the nominee, because they are shunning any possibility that anyone challenges him, even a symbolic challenge. Ignore them, get rid of them, pretend they don't exist from the mainstream. So, why is it a win-win situation? Well, if Orangey comes back, first of all, that'll be hilarious. That'll be entertainment for all. To watch people have a cow even worse than they did before. And if Orangey wins, he might be able to salvage a few boards and bricks from what used to be the United States and start rebuilding. But he's going to have a hard road to hoe, and a lot of bad things are still going to happen, and he'll be blamed, but it really doesn't matter because he'll be a lame duck. But Orangey wins, and it's good. Now, why is it good if Petri Dish wins? Because there's no sense in going on like this. So if Petri Dish is elected for another term, there will be a conflagration, and 6 billion people will die, and the world will be destroyed, mostly to be rebuilt later by the elites. But it's best that it happens. I mean, let's not pussyfoot around anymore. This slouching toward Gomorrah is getting boring. So 4 more years of Petri Dish will mean 4 more years of smoldering pits, contaminated air, death and destruction everywhere, entire breakdown of Western civilization, which I endorse. So I think I'll just leave it there. I had a couple things I wanted to say about the Karine Jean-Pierre's latest. She had some guy on there talking about the March on Washington, some anniversary 50 years ago, I guess, or 60, I think, whatever it was. Martin Luther King. Oh yeah, Petri Dish is going to commemorate that. Yeah, that's pretty ironic, since he's done more to divide this country and to label and pigeonhole people than any other person on the face of the earth in history. So he can commemorate Dr. Martin Luther King's March on Washington. And he can do it from Vietnam, because that's where I guess he's going to be. And then he's going to commemorate 9/11 in Alaska. I have no idea, but just stay on vacation. Go from Vietnam to Madagascar and stay a month there. As long as he's out of the country, he won't have to campaign. And they don't want Orangey to campaign, because they're going to have court dates from here until eternity, and they're going to make sure that those dates are on crucial times. So he will probably get a huge amount of votes. But you'll notice the gaslighting when it comes to anecdotal incidences. Of course, we're still keeping the average up on mass shootings, or shootings in general. That there's 2 mass shootings a day on average in what used to be America, but they ignore some. There's mass shootings by Caucasoids, mass shootings by Asians, and mass shootings by all kinds of different people. But the ones they want to concentrate on and keep everyone focused on are the mass shootings that have to do with a Caucasoid shooting a Negroid. And especially if they make it clear that the reason they're shooting is hate. There's going to be anecdotal things. Things are like that are going to happen. You can't get rid of that bald racism overnight. There's always going to be people like that. But if you'd listen to the mainstream, you would think that the Ku Klux Klan is running all over every place in America doing whatever the hell they want. There's white supremacists absolutely everywhere. The country is rampant with it. And I don't see much evidence of that. But if you want to use anecdotal incidences to drive home your point, it's just more gaslighting. Hyper-gaslighting. I think I could go on about this forever, but I'll leave it there. Just get sick of it. And everybody's sick of it. And even the people that they think are the victims are sick of it. After a while you get sick of being told you're a victim, and then you just say forget that. So there will be scorched earth between now and the election, if there is an election, because the D's know that they're doomed. The only thing they can rely on is the assurance that a majority of the electorate are idiots, and that's their main constituency. But as I've said before, they're killing them. So we'll see who's left in November of 24. So we'll leave it there. I don't know if I said a whole lot, but I wanted to get one in. And thanks everybody for putting up with my BS. See ya next time.